Welcome to the family with
Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk.
Kevin. You're not talking.
What? Why is this number? Tevin Pittman?
Oh, Ari's having issues, I think. Andy Brant Bernard.
And we'll get back. Ari Manis is in studio. He's in town. Josh, what are you riding? An exercise bike there, Josh?
I'm outside riding a regular bike. It's beautiful here.
Boy, it's not usually.
I have a regular. I don't have an exercise bike. I have a regular bike that's set up on a trainer, so you don't go any place. It's very safe, so I don't fall off. But if you do see me fall off, I'll yell out and scream, and you can call 911.
We'll call 911. Yeah, Ari, does that make you a little uncomfortable watching him ride a bike the whole time you're here?
It might make me more comfortable to show that he doesn't take himself too seriously. He's a man who's been through a lot, and he just does not care about anything in the world.
No question. Ari, where are you from originally?
San Diego. What about you?
God, well, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was born in Long Prairie, Minnesota, a town of about 4 people. But other than that,
sorry to hear that.
But, it all works out. No, it's actually a beautiful area. It all works out in the end. But
I'd rather be in Florida. I'd rather be where you are now.
Well, it's kind of nice. Except for, I'll say this again. I said it on the morning show, and I'll say it again, Ari, that we took Andy. Andy's with us on the show here. We took his son and wife out on a boat trip. And when you're in the intercoastal or on the ocean near Palm Beach, they will stop the boat and go, you see that house there? That house belonged to Andre Agassi, and he got divorced and left the house a long time ago. And I believe she tried to get the house from him because it's worth $30 million. And then we get a little further down the line. Then it was Bernie Madoff's house. He tried to give that to his son, but that didn't work. So I don't know who owns that now. But then we got to Sylvester Stallone's house, which is worth $60 million. But, Ari, that's not the topper there. The topper is Mark Cuban. He sold his boat to the former CEO of Sears. Now, Sears didn't exactly go out of business at the high end here, right?
No, I don't know how he has a whole lot of money. Well,
he's a former hedge fund manager.
Yeah.
And it was his hedge fund. That owned it, or that got him all the money.
How do you know that, Josh? You nerd.
He does look nerdy. I will tell you that. But
yeah, how do I know that? Because a long time ago, in a faraway place called Minneapolis, I invested in a little company called Kmart that this particular guy bought, and he was a former Goldman Sachs investment banker who at 25 became the youngest partner. He left. Goldman Sachs seeded his initial hedge fund, and eventually he bought Kmart out of, essentially was bankrupt, but it owned a lot of real estate.
Oh, sure.
And my reason to buy Kmart at the time was they owned all this real estate. My father, who was in the shopping center business at that time, said that Kmart owned the second largest amount of real estate in the country. So I was looking and saying, you buy all this real estate, you stop the blue light specials, and you convert the real estate to the retail real estate to something else, and you can make a lot of money. Instead, he bought Sears, and the stock ran up and then ran right back down. But he, as the owner of the hedge fund, continued to collect a lot of fees.
A lot of fees. Well, let me put it this way, Ari. So we're turning around, going back toward the house, and there's this gigantic ship. It's not a boat, it's a ship. And it was Mark Cuban's boat. But Mark Cuban sold it to this guy that Josh is talking about for $300 million. Wow. For a boat. I mean, it's a ship. But $300 million for your boat.
You're in the right place.
Oh, I'm telling
where
you, I'm
you
in the
wanna be.
wrong place because you get depressed as hell. You go, I thought I was doing okay, but I guess comparatively, things aren't going too great. That's the problem.
A lot of hot babes in Florida. That's what I like about
Oh,
Florida. All
well,
the
that's true.
babes.
Well, San Diego doesn't do too badly either.
You're right about that.
There's no question about that. No doubt at all. Now, Ari, are you interested in the markets at all and all the rest of that stuff?
A little bit. I have a Robinhood.
All right. So
I have
I
there's
like
Robinhood
that.
Gold.
I have a Robin Hood
Yeah, I got a Robinhood account with some stocks in there, and I
and
got
some
the S&P
cryptocurrency,
500.
right?
I got some crypto. Yeah, I got some Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm kind of an investor.
There's nothing
Good.
wrong with that. The reason I bring that,
Sell the Bitcoin, sell the Ethereum.
No way. To the moon,
yes.
baby.
Yeah,
To the moon. Yeah, if I had listened to you, I would have bought Kmart. No, thank you.
yeah, whoa, a
Well, that's
shot.
pretty good. I did make money on Kmart. I
I
did
made
make
more on Bitcoin, Josh.
Bitcoin.
You know
Could you
how
please
rich
tell
I
me?
am? You know how rich I am?
He has
Yeah,
a
you
$400
have
million
you have
boat.
one Bitcoin, and you're up at $50,000. Sell the Bitcoin. Sell the Bitcoin and go buy a company like Apple, buy a company like Amazon, buy a company like Live Entertainment.
Right
So
now,
you
right now I'm rocking the Nvidia. What do you guys think about that?
I think that is wonderful.
Yeah.
Take a little off the table. Take a little profit from NVIDIA. It's gone up. It's a fairly expensive company. Yes, they are the leader in generative AI at this particular time because people need the chips that they manufacture, the GPUs that are super high speed. They're getting into some software, and the guy who runs the company is incredibly smart.
Asian, I believe. They're pretty smart people.
Are they?
That's what I heard.
Well,
That's what I heard. Okay.
yeah, they're smart. They're almost as smart as some other people.
Were you gonna say white people, you racist?
No, I was not
No.
going to say white people. I have been accused of being a racist, a homophobe, a sexist, and a few other ists.
I thought I was the only one.
No, no. That was just my rabbi accused me of those things.
Yeah, there you go. The rabbi went after you. That's wonderful. I do have to bring something up here. The reason we're talking about this, and we should talk about it at length, is I saw a news report a couple of nights ago, and then I did some research on it, hopped on the internet and checked it out, and it is absolutely true. They are now saying, and across the board they're saying, if you think you can get a job, even a well-paying job, and make it in this world, you're 100% wrong. That you cannot make it in the upcoming world unless you invest your money with a professional. They said it over and over, and I went, was this an ad or what? It was not. It was a story, and they truly believe that you cannot make it on your income alone anymore. So, Josh, Ari, Tevin, Andy, what do you think of that?
You guys can start out because
I think we all know Josh's opinion.
I'm very biased.
Yeah.
In this
That's
particular
true.
deal.
That's true.
I'm an investment advisor.
Yeah,
I'm
would say
biased.
I'm like Ari, where I'll downloaded the Robinhood app and I'm definitely trying to get into it because bills need to be paid, and
Right.
if your money can make you money, I think that is a win-win. And I look at it a lot like gambling, which maybe isn't the best look, but it's you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but you got to kind of take that chance to get in while you can. And if you're going to spend your money on something that maybe I don't need, I might as well take a chance on a stock that could at least make me some money.
Yeah.
Problem is, you got to have money in the first place.
Right.
Well, you actually do not need a lot of money. You need time more than money and a decent return. Now, since Ari said that he owned an S&P index fund, is that correct?
Yeah, I believe it's Vanguard. S&P
Okay.
500 through Robinhood. I have $300 going to that every single month,
See?
as well as 150 going towards your favorite crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum. The future. Oh yeah, let's not invest in the future. Let's just invest in the boring S&P 500 that's been around for a century.
Yeah. Okay.
That's your
The board.
grandpa's
Here we
investment.
go. Here we go. The S&P 500 that's been around for a century is only at an average return of 10% a year.
Oh,
That's over the century. That means that
Yeah, if you want to be a
on
conservative.
balance, okay, you can be conservative with that, but that only doubles your money every 7 years.
Nvidia
That's
went
all.
up 16% yesterday.
I understand. I will not tell you how fast it went down several years ago.
you two are a perfect match, by the way. Ari
Several
and
years
Josh
ago
are
went
perfect.
down, and now from several years ago, it's up 1,600%, I think.
Yeah, most of the people who invested several years ago are finally making money in Nvidia. And yes, and the stock is zoomed up, and I am not an owner of it at this point in time. I think the stock is too expensive on both a price to sales and price to earnings basis. I'm not going to say it's not the future, but utilizing artificial or generative artificial intelligence definitely is the future. And more companies are starting to utilize the technology. At some point, once you put in the hardware, and we are in a point in time where the need to expand the hardware, make changes, and upgrade all the hardware, including the data centers that are going to store all this data that's going to be needed for generative artificial intelligence. Once that is built out, and that's going to take a few years, the need for that many chips is going to, we'll say, slow down. Now, I am a little biased towards chips, and yes, I have made money trading NVIDIA. I am not in it now, nor am I in any other chip company at this point in time. If I was looking at chips, I would tend to look to the the manufacturer of the chips, like Taiwan Semiconductor, more than anything else. And but the future is still in technology, broadly speaking. Technology is not an inflationary asset; it's a deflationary asset, and that is, broadly speaking, where a lot of growth is. And the utilization of technology in different types of businesses definitely is going to accelerate those businesses. So somebody thinks of the boring S&P 500. Yes, it's not crypto currency, which to me has zero to back it up. That is, to me, manufactured out of thin air. NVIDIA is a real rock solid company that is now the third largest company by market capitalization in the world, behind just some other boring companies, Apple and Microsoft, or maybe it's Microsoft and Apple. But now NVIDIA is ahead of, in terms of valuation, Google and Amazon. So when you talk about the boring S&P 500, there are companies, boring companies that have dropped off. And
if you want to play it safe, get the S&P 500. No
correct.
doubt, do that. But if you want to make it to the big leagues, if you want to make it on a radio station like this, like we're on right now, like me, if you want to be a big star, you get a credit card, you max it out on Bitcoin, you take out all the money, and you get all the Bitcoin you can with a credit card, and you just sit there and wait. And boy, oh boy, you'll be owning that $300 million yacht from
pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Mark Cuban's made all his money in Bitcoin, but that's that's something else. And I don't think, if you talk about yachts, the now executive chairman of a company he founded, Jeff Bezos, has just a smaller yacht that he's got parked someplace because whoever the yacht architect forgot to measure the bridge.
Right.
So they're going to either have to cut the cut the boat's height, move the bridge, or build another $500 million vessel that Jeff Bezos is going to park outside his house. Oh, I know, Ari, you live down the block from Jeff Bezos on Indian Creek Island in Miami, right?
I will be.
Okay.
Once those credit
Can't
cards
wait.
maxed out on Bitcoin payoff.
Yeah. And your credit card's interest rate is how much?
Oh, you don't even pay attention to that kind of thing. It doesn't matter because then you're thinking short. See, then you're getting in this old school thinking. You just got to think to the moon, baby. To the moon.
Yeah, I know. I'm old school. I'm an old guy.
Yeah, you're risk averse, Josh, is what you are. I like
No,
Ari's
I can't say I'm not risk averse. It's
Ari's looking for the next GameStop type scandal. That's what
right.
I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Is this quick? How can we get our investment to go up like 500% in about 15 minutes and then cash out?
Go big or go home.
There you go.
But in any case, you're talking. My point is, it's not the amount of money; it's the amount of time that you have. And I think one of the things that Ari's doing by putting money away on a monthly basis into, we'll say, the S&P 500, is that over a period of time, just from doing that, he can be a multimillionaire.
Oh, Ari.
Now, many years ago, when my boys were in high school, I was invited to talk to their economics class, and I said to the class, and at that time, the putting money into an IRA, the max was $2,000. And I had said to these kids that if they started putting money away, they were 17 and 18, $2,000 a year for the next 5 years. They'd put away $10,000 at the average return on the S&P 500. They put away that $10,000, $2,000 a year for 5 years, left it alone. When they turned 65, they'd have $1 million just through the magic of compounding. So they had a lot of time with that money compounding. There's another very old guy whose company is releasing their annual report tomorrow. He lives down in Omaha. He's 93, and I think he's probably maybe the 6th richest man in the world today. Warren Buffett, very, very conservative, but that's his big thing. You don't have to be very aggressive. You just need time, solid businesses that can compound their earnings and compound their dividends over a period of time to become wealthy, which leads to the next thing that Ari is doing, is not only putting the money away on a monthly basis. My guess is that because you're self-employed, I'm guessing you're self-employed.
I am, yes.
Okay. Your accountant, another old guy, had suggested to you to reduce your taxes, set up an SEP, a simplified employee pension or profit sharing plan, where you could put away up to 25% of your net income. So that reduces your taxes. If you're working for a company, you could probably put that money either into an IRA or a 401k. And if you do not take advantage of putting that money away into these tremendous tax deductible investment accounts, you're dumb.
Well, that's very direct.
Oh yeah, you're dumb. And just continue to put that money away, because at some point in time, maybe not for a self-employed individual like Ari or myself or you, Tom, or Tevin, or even Andy. Geez, I don't see Super Dave here.
No, he couldn't make it.
Oh, he couldn't make it
Okay,
today?
well,
That's too bad.
Okay, well, Super Dave is not self-employed, but for Super Dave, but for self-employed people, you can continue working until they put you in the box. They being my kids put me in the box. But a lot of people who work for companies, the likelihood of you continuing to work forever is slim and none. And I think Slim just got up from his bar stool. So you're going to need some money to replace the income that you're generating. And by putting money into a retirement vehicle, SEP, IRA, 401k, and investing that in something
What about baseball
stayed.
cards?
Oh, we like baseball cards.
Yeah, I'm talking like Tony Gwynn rookie card.
Oh, I was thinking of my old Mickey Mantle cards.
Or that, or even older.
Well, as I said, you're a young guy, and you even remember Tony Gwynn. Didn't he play
I'm
for
putting a lot
that
of money
team
into Tony Gwynn and Charizard. That's where a lot of my money goes.
I sold my Pokemon cards like 2 years ago. Got basically nothing for them. $200. But
You sold
hey.
too soon. Too soon, Andy.
I should have helped.
I like my old Topps baseball cards. Some of them still even smell like the bubble gum.
Oh, there you go. I have to honor Ari here by asking, where are you appearing this weekend, Ari?
This weekend I'll be at the Bloomington Mall of America performing at the House of Comedy. We
Excellent.
have 5 shows left.
You have 5
2 tonight.
left?
Yeah, 2 tonight, 2 tomorrow, and 1 on Sunday.
Wonderful.
The staff goes, oh, like how come some comedians do 5 shows and how come some do 6? And I said, well, the ones that are successful don't stay on Sunday, and the ones that aren't say, we'll do whatever you want us to. So that's me. I'm doing whatever they tell me to do. That's why I'm here with you guys. That's why I'm doing Sunday show. No.
You didn't want to be here, but you are.
I had to wake up early, but no, it was fun. You guys are great people.
The staff will unknowingly humble you quick by just asking a basic question. It's like little kids.
No, last night, about 15 people showed up to the show. And I get there, and the manager, I guess your replacement, Tevin, he says, hey, if there's not enough people, we're going to cancel the show. And I was like, it'd be more embarrassing than 15 people is canceling show. So I went down into the mall, and I barked for my own show, and I handed out tickets and got 20 people up there. And they're like, we've never seen a comedian do that before.
Oh, you actually work?
I have no shame.
Yeah, no, there's a handful of comedians from back in my day that they would grab a handful of tickets and everybody with a pulse they were handing tickets to. So yeah, you're not alone.
Okay.
Absolutely. That'll happen. Ari, do you think are people showing up at shows around the country as you I assume you're traveling all over America and maybe other places as well. Are people reluctant to go to any live performance now? They don't go to the movie theaters anymore.
I think the game has changed where it used to be a comedy club. House of Comedy is one of the few where people will come because they just want to go to the House of Comedy. They go, oh, yeah, we heard of this place. We want to go check it out. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, you got to be famous now. The game has changed where I've been very lucky where I've gotten to open up for famous people that sell tickets and that's great. But yeah, if you're not famous, you aren't going to make as good of a living as you would in the 80s doing stand-up.
You know what's amazing about that, though, Ari, is that you coming in this morning is a really good thing because all those guys, I've been doing this for 54 years. So having comedians on all the time, all the rest of it, a lot of comedians now, the big-name comedians, don't do podcasting or radio shows because they have their own podcast.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's that has all changed as well. I've known so many guys for so many years that a lot of them still do show up when they come into town. Not all of them though. There are guys that I've known for years that just don't do morning talk shows anymore.
Yeah, and some of it is that they don't have to. Their shows are sold out. They go, I'm good. It's pretty cool. Exactly that's where I want it. One day, I hope maybe a year from now, maybe 2, maybe 10, that they're like, hey, do you want to do Tom's show? And I'll go, absolutely not.
No, forget.
No, that's the reason he's not going to do that is his Bitcoin. He's going to laugh. He's going to say, "Oh, there's that old guy. Josh is still on. Josh told me to sell my Bitcoin at 50,000. My Bitcoin is now 100,000. I'm going to go on the show just to laugh at Josh's face.
No, I'll still, of course, be loyal to the people that had me on early. But it would be nice to be able to be like, I don't need it.
Right,
One day.
where you're going on because of your relationship with somebody in a town rather than the need to try and sell tickets at the last
Yeah,
second.
yeah, exactly. The dream, living the dream. But you know
Living
what?
the
It's
dream.
still, it is the dream. I will say that even though 20 people showed up last night, even though I'm here doing morning radio, it beats waking up and doing a 9 to 5 job any day. A lot of
No
people out there
question.
right now are listening to this from work.
Mm-hmm.
And they're miserable and they're going home to their fat wives and their fat family. And at least we're not doing that, right? At least we're here.
That's
How
true.
did you get in? How did you get into comedy?
I was a class clown, and who knows? I think every comedian's probably been through some serious trauma, but I blocked that out.
Mhm.
And now I just like making people laugh and just started doing open mics in LA and then opened for people. And then the owners of House of Comedy saw me opening for people and they were like, we want you to headline. And here I am. Full
Well, that's
circle.
wonderful. That's great. I'm glad to hear that because it is a wonderful room.
Oh, it's great. I mean, and also a lot of people make fun of it that's in the Mall of America, but for me, not being from here, it gives me something to do. I like walking around the mall.
Yeah. And in the winter, you being from San Diego, it feels a little colder here than out there, I assume. So you don't have to go outside ever. You don't have to deal with the elements other than having to drive here.
Yeah, totally. Oh, it's great. Have you guys
No
been there
doubt.
before when you guys lived here before you got to move to Florida?
I didn't move to Florida.
Oh, you're just there. You didn't move there.
No, I
You're
did not
vacationing.
move to Florida. But in any case, no, we back in the day, I did a morning show across the street for 37 and a half years. And nobody at that time, and I mean nobody, and this was all the big headliners would tell me, that back in the day before my generation, they would not allow comedians to come on their shows unless it was like Bob Hope or somebody that big. So I said, why? We bring people on and they make you laugh. Why wouldn't you do that? So I, for 37 years, brought comedians onto my show. We had a wonderful time. I met everybody. I've met every comedian that's ever been born. Now that I've met you, Ari, which is good, which is a good thing. But yeah, I mean, they flooded to come on the show because they couldn't get on any other show. Which made no sense to me, whatever. Why wouldn't you want professional comedians making you laugh on a Friday morning? That's stupid. But then everybody started doing it, and now it's a situation where they all have their own show, so now they're back to not coming on the morning shows anymore.
And how about you? How does that affect your career and your job? Have you found it way more competitive and a much bigger struggle to get listeners and sponsorships, or you've been in the game so long it doesn't really affect you?
I've been very, very lucky as far as it still takes time to develop. I was told basically when you move from radio to podcasting, it's going to take a couple of years to get back to where you were, just because it takes that. Doesn't matter. Everybody knows who you are. You've been in the business for 54 years, but it doesn't matter. It has to do with your daily routine more than anything else. Podcasting is about a routine. There's no question. Whereas you get in your car and listen to a radio station, you just do that anyway. You can do that with podcasting now too, but it does take time. But we've been very, very lucky. We've had some sponsors that are a pain in the ass, like Josh Arnold. But
Thank you very much.
But other than that,
I'm
it's a
very
different world.
demanding. I'm very demanding. That's it.
We just had a couple of, pretty big name, not huge name, Hollywood people show up on the show in the last couple of months talking about the fact that unless you're a huge name and acting in Hollywood, you're not going to make very much money anymore. It's just money. Oh, so so you know all about that?
A little bit. Just I live in Los Angeles. I've lived there for the last 12 years, and it's definitely on the decline with internet streaming and social media and how easy it is to make content. I think there's 1/3 less film and TV productions than there were even last year. It's declined by around 33% just in the last year, and I think it's only supposed to continue to decline. Mm-hmm. So the industry as a whole is shrinking. It's not that there's no work, but there's definitely less work. So as a straight white guy, I need to see the writing on the wall and move.
You just don't fit in.
Yeah, I just don't fit in now. Unless you're like a lesbian, diverse human being, you're not working in Hollywood.
It's not.
Whoa! What is this, lesbian diverse people?
That's what they want now in Hollywood. They want lesbians
Yeah,
and diversity.
You got to check as many boxes as possible off of do we have this representation in our film? Yeah.
Just turn on TV, look at the commercials. There are no white families in commercials. There
not
is
at all.
an
No.
Asian woman with a black man, and somehow they have an Indian child together. It doesn't make any sense.
I've kind of questioned that. It's like, I do not understand that. I've never seen that.
You're like, yeah, in your head, you're like, this could be a real thing, I suppose. I suppose that there are families like this that exist, but it's not really representing reality. But that's okay.
Well, Ari, we were just talking about this morning. I can't remember what the part. Tevin, do you remember the department? This guy, the guy who made the statement about, he came out on national television and said, "I have talked to the people in my department, and we will no longer be using the word manpower."
Yeah,
he actually made a national announcement about that. Oh,
I know it's like do or don't, but to like go on a podium and pat yourself on the back for it is just strange.
It's weird.
I don't know what happened to a company called Manpower.
Yeah, Manpower. Yeah.
Did you ever work? Did you guys ever do day labor for Manpower like I did?
I never did. No,
I've never even heard of that company, to be honest. Manpower.
Okay, Manpower.
They were right next to the Kmart.
They were right next to the Kmart. Actually, I got to think they were right next to the bail bondsman.
Makes sense.
And I got to think, and the pawn shop. Actually, they were between the two on Federal Street in Camden, New Jersey. And when I would come home for college vacations during the school year, my dad would wake me up extra early, say, "Get out on, get your run done, because I've got to leave for the office at 7:30, and I'm dropping you off at Manpower. You need to get some money." So I did day labor, during school vacation. So a week, 2 weeks at a time, and you'd be sent out to all kinds of jobs.
Not too many Jewish guys do day labor either. That's
no real trailblazer, Josh.
Great point.
No, there were not too many Jewish guys, and particularly skinny guys with glasses and a lot of hair doing day labor.
And Tom, it was the State Department. Blinken sent out a memo.
It was Blinken. Yep.
And with the whole manpower thing, I mean, maybe I just am not educated enough to know this, but I always assumed that you had horsepower, which referred to the power of horses, and then manpower was like human.
Right.
Like
it is
manpower.
It is.
But apparently now we just say it's just meaning men as in the gender.
Oh God, is it ever gonna? It's never gonna change. We had Dr. Phil on the morning show, and he was beside himself with all this. Don't say this word. Don't say that word. You might upset somebody with this. Don't say the sun has come up. Don't say the sun has set. I mean, it's like, Jesus, is anybody happy?
See, if I was that guy, I would have gone up and I would say, we are never going to use the word manpower again. From now on, it's male power.
Male power. Good point. Josh is choking to death. You okay?
Just you guys make me laugh. That's it.
Oh, that's what.
All you comedians. I'm just a old investment advisor using old state investments. Primarily focused on the internet and leisure companies. That's it.
So, Josh, you sponsor this show. It sounds like, and we all wanted to know as listeners. I've been listening to the show a long time, and I want to know. What is your net worth?
Well, it's a lot more than the 1 or 2 Bitcoins that you have.
Double shots.
Uh-oh.
Shots fired in both directions. Oh, and there's Tevin rubbing it. Ooh, shots.
I got my popcorn ready. Fight.
I'm just speaking for the people here. A lot of the comments I'm seeing on the internet, they're like, Josh is probably worth about $30 billion. I want to know if that's true, if the rumors are true.
Yep. He actually
keep the rumors going.
Yeah, he has one of those big houses that's on the boat tour where they between Sly and.
This is Josh Arnold's house.
Yep.
And then Josh, we were also wondering if you would be willing to donate $50,000 to me.
Directly.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
What do you plan on buying?
I'd be happy to do that. There are a few conditions, of course.
Okay.
Okay, you have to wear a Josh Arnold Mr. Money Talk shirt
Ooh,
with
like it.
my phone number emblazed on it
Every show.
on every show that you do.
Wow.
Even if you make negative comments about me.
You don't care. Bad press is good press.
Yeah.
Any press is good press. That's correct.
Hilarious.
As long as you don't use the former President Nixon's line, "I am not a crook. I am not a crook."
Yep. There you go. Well, that's carried on. Was that 1968? That's been carried on for a while.
Ari's like, who the hell is Richard Nixon?
I've heard of him.
I know we're the same age, but I think of Richard Nixon the same way I think of like the Civil War. It's like it's something that happened so long ago that it's irrelevant to me.
Mm-hmm.
He was impeached?
He was.
Yeah.
Well, wait. No,
he was not
he was
impeached.
almost impeached, but he resigned before he
resigned,
could be
yeah.
impeached. That's
Yeah.
right.
Gotcha.
hmm
Yeah,
But he
I'm
was
more of
going
a-
to be impeached.
You guys get
absolutely.
political on here?
Oh, you can, absolutely.
I love Donald J. Trump.
Well, good for you. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Now, I got to be honest with you. If anybody told me they like Trump or Biden, I'd go, good for you.
And when I say I like him, I just mean I like him more than Biden.
Which isn't hard to do. I feel like at this point in both their-
Likability is very low right now
Yes.
around the political globe.
Yeah, how corrupt is our system if they are the only two choices?
Mhm.
Well, it's a good point.
Well, I'd go a little further. How poor are both political parties that they are dependent on people who may be in the home in the next few years?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think you have to put maybe before that.
Yeah. 80s? 80s?
I mean, you mean to tell me that there is somebody that has experience that's not in their late 40s, 50s, or early 60s
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's been around that can handle this job? I mean, I know that I want to work until they do put me in the box, but I'm not president of the United States.
Yeah,
But you start looking. No, you start looking around the world at the leaders.
Mhm.
They're still all baby boomers.
Yeah. Well, and when you say you want to work till they put you in the box, you're riding a bike and having a conversation at the same time. I don't think either Joe Biden or Donald Trump could do what you're doing right now.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Not at the same time.
No.
Joe Biden couldn't do either one of those things just one at a time.
I got a question for you. Has there been a decent president since Teddy Roosevelt?
Bill Clinton, probably.
You think so?
I mean, we grew up with him, so we're a little biased, but yes.
Well, he was
We were
banning
in
everybody
economic
sight, too.
surplus. He liked to
Right.
He played the
fornicate with his
saxophone.
interns. He was a pretty cool guy.
He wore sunglasses, you know. He had a cool
He was
accent.
very, very sharp individual.
Mhm.
Very, very smart.
Did he like going to Epstein's Island here and there? Yeah, but who doesn't?
Apparently so did a lot of people.
There you go.
Who doesn't like fun in the sun, right? So other stuff might have been going on the island, but he was just getting a tan.
What's
I'm sure.
happening with the island now? Like, I want to go now.
Yeah, who would
I believe it's
ever
being made into an amusement park?
Who would
Or
buy
like
it
this,
though?
Somebody bought it. It's 'cause
Josh
we,
bought it.
We talked
I
about
bought
it
it.
a while back. It's like an amusement park company bought it, and it's going to get turned into a resort, I believe.
Stephen Deckoff bought it.
I'd change my name if my last
Yeah, I was
name
gonna
was Deckoff.
say, welcome to Deckoff Island.
Yeah, no thanks.
I'll deck you off.
I genuinely want to go, though. Now that it's bought by someone else, I want to see what they turn it into.
See-
It has a cool history to it. It sounds fun.
What I would have done is I would have turned it into one of those ghost tours.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Here where you can see the ghost of, and then I say a politician, but if I said it right here, I'd get assassinated. So
Probably
I'd have to save it for the tour.
It's all true. There's no question about it. Yeah, so who actually owns the island now that he's dead?
Stephen Deckoff.
Oh, Deckoff did buy it?
He
From
bought
who?
it, yes.
From who, though?
From Epstein, I believe.
Oh, before Epstein died?
Well, I think he died. It went into arrears or whatever it's
Oh,
called.
I see what you're saying.
Wait a minute.
So he
Not
bought
arrears.
the island.
He did.
So-
Did he bought it from the bank?
You got it for $60 million.
60
That's not
million.
even that much.
Oh, He
For an
bought
island.
he bought it for. He could have bought 5 boats.
No, he could have bought 1/5 of a boat.
1/5 of a
No,
boat.
well, that's right, 1/5 of the boat. But I mean,
True.
geez, you have a whole island. I'd much rather have the island.
I would
than a
absolutely
boat.
rather own an island than a boat, 100%.
No,
Less
Ari,
maintenance.
will you go? I mean, to this island only if they have a Ferris wheel.
I'll go. They can pay me $50 and I'll go. I'll go perform there.
That's $50
Yeah.
to stand up.
Pay for my boat trip and $50 and I'll go.
I just find it strange that he's trying to put a luxury resort on this property. But I mean, we're talking about a culture where they still don't have a 13th floor on many buildings,
Right.
Because they think that something bad will happen if they live on floor 13,
Yeah,
and yet you
true.
think people are willing to go to this like pedo island to stay at a resort. I don't know. It's a gamble, that's for sure.
If they make the prices good enough, people will forget pretty fast.
That is true. Yes.
Probably true.
How many buildings are over 13 stories on this island?
On Epstein Island, 0.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Okay.
I'm talking about like, go to any condo, tall enough condo. It's going to lack a 13th floor.
Well, the building we're in right now does not have a 13th
There's no 13th floor, yeah.
That's true.
They should lean into it and have a bunch of masseuses on the island, of age masseuses, and
That
just make it
behave.
exactly like it was, just legal. And say we replicated it. If you want to see how billionaires live,
Adults only this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really catch the drift of all that stuff. I guess, I've been married to the same. I've known her for 44 years. We've been married July 7th. It'll be 40 years. I've never understood that. I'm married. I have kids. I think I'll go to an island and bang some teenager. What?
you don't even understand it after
No, I
40
do
years.
not
You're not
understand
bored a little bit.
No, you haven't met my wife. She is not boring. I will tell you that. She's far too good for me is a good way to put it.
I've been with a girl for a couple of years, and I definitely understand it.
I want to hear all about her. What's the deal?
We met on the Messenger on Instagram. We met up. She's a beautiful woman. She's about 9 years younger than me.
Okay, same with Catherine. She's 8 years younger than me.
Yeah, and we're just, we're just two kids in love. Our libidos are a little off. That's our biggest issue.
That's a problem.
My libido's up here. Her libido's
Sure.
up here. But besides
Absolutely.
that, we're good.
I understand completely, but it sounds like you have a happy life, so that's good.
Yeah, overall, it's happy. I'm just investing in NVIDIA, doing stand up at
that's
the
good.
Mall of America.
Much
Got
safer.
a girl 9 years younger than me. Might go to Epstein's Island next year if they book me. So life's all
You
right.
got a great life. You have a great life.
I do.
And the
People
island
are
is
envious of you.
They are. They should be. It's great. It
Yeah,
really is.
the island is a 25-room resort, so it'll be about as many people as were at your show yesterday.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go.
Really
Each
intimate.
with their own hotel room.
Well, no, there's a difference. There's a 25-room resort, but the people who are going to that resort, they are all Bitcoin millionaires.
Bitcoin
So they-
millionaires.
Yeah, so they pay for everything in Bitcoin.
And Josh, why do you say sell Bitcoin? Why do you say don't invest in Bitcoin?
There's nothing behind it.
Got it.
There is, if you can tell me what is behind Bitcoin other than the hype, and people say, well, it's going to be worth this. And I say,
What about
okay,
using
what
it
does
as
do?
currency to buy, for example, drugs on the dark web, illicit
Oh
drugs?
yeah, I'm definitely into that. No, yeah, right. That's about what it's used for. I mean, I can see somebody moving from Venezuela wants to move to the United States, and they deposit all of their money into Bitcoin, and they leave. They put the all their money in a stick in the sole of their shoe, in the midsole, and they leave. They get to Miami. They load this thing at Robinhood and say, give me dollars.
But couldn't
So
you
that-
say the same thing about a lot of things like gold?
Well,
What's behind gold besides gold? A useless metal that you're not going to use.
Well,
What's
I say
behind
the exact
Bitcoin
same.
besides an algorithm that you might not use?
Yeah, I say the same thing about gold, silver, or any precious we'll say precious gems. It's the same thing. Although precious gems such as diamonds you can carry around a lot easier than you can carry around silver coins or gold bars or gold coins. So Bitcoin fits in that same category. It doesn't do anything, but in the case of the gold, I do have that gold ingot, so to speak, that can be traded. But again, I'll go back to Berkshire Hathaway's Warren Buffett years ago was asked about gold and why Berkshire Hathaway didn't own gold. And his response was fairly simple. He said, you could take all the gold that was ever mined or ever existed, you could pile it up in one room in a block, and you could look at it. Or for the value of that gold, you could go out and buy all the farmland in North America, and at that time, 6 Exxons, when Exxon was the largest company by market capitalization, and still have money left over. Which do you want? The gold, or do you want the farmland and the 6 Exxons? Well, that to me is an easy answer. I want the farmland and the 6 Exxons rather than the gold. Because the farmland and the 6 Exxons produce revenue, which can be turned into income. The gold, now it goes up and down. The value is not zooming up. It's not, even as they say, inflation adjusted. You need to have gold to protect you from inflation. No, I'd sooner own Coca-Cola, because when they started talking about inflation back in the 80s, and I look at the price of Coca-Cola, then the price of Coca-Cola today, and all of the dividends that have been paid out and the increase in dividends from then till now, and look at the price of gold, Coke far outdistances gold. So that's, but again, doesn't do anything. Bitcoin doesn't do anything. And to me, there's nothing behind Bitcoin. You'd be better taking the money in Bitcoin and go buy more NVIDIA. And over any period of time, with all the ups and downs in NVIDIA, they're going to happen over the next several years, you'll do much better in NVIDIA.
So a question I have for you, because if you watch television, you have all these, famous judges and actors, and they're all telling you should buy silver and gold. You need to buy gold. How do they finance those commercials? Do people actually follow their word and go out and purchase gold? I mean, is that
Yes.
why they're on TV every day?
Yeah. I mean, if you start looking, well, I'll come back to the Super Bowl ads, but the cost to buy gold, and you're buying coins usually that are advertised. You've got to pay a 10% commission to buy, 10% commission to sell. And if you're buying a gold coin, you're actually buying not only the gold, you're buying a numismatic, so it has another value. So first off, in order to make money, you've got to have that gold go up 20%. That's just to break even on the buy and the sell.
Right.
That's a hard ask for that kind of asset. Mm-hmm. And then you have to hope that the company you bought it from is still around. Or if you take it someplace else, another coin dealer, and say, I want to cash in my gold coin, they look at it and say, oh, well, geez, it's got some scratches on it. You bought it in this condition. It's really not worth that condition that it's in. Whereas if you're buying, we'll say, I'll even go back to Bitcoin. You're better off in that case buying Bitcoin, because I don't have the 10% in, 10% out fee. If I wanted, there are now exchange traded funds that deal in Bitcoin, so I can buy and sell those directly, we'll say, from Robinhood or through any other brokerage firm, and you can track the price of Bitcoin on your iPhone. I've got to mention an Apple product because that's my largest position. And Apple may not be the stock for you, but in any case, you can track the price of Bitcoin on your iPhone, or even if you're watching most financial news shows, because they track Bitcoin as much as they track government bonds or the NASDAQ index or the S&P index or the Dow. So in that case, as a hard, we'll say an asset like Bitcoin is better than gold or silver, but not for me.
Ooh, I like it. You've stunned everyone. What do you think of that action?
Okay, here we go. I'll give you another favorite company that I have. I'll say my second largest position. And again, this might not be a stock for everybody.
Hooters. You were telling me about it
Hooters.
before the show. You have a large investment in the Hooters restaurant chain. Pretty interesting.
The French fries are really good. I'll say my girlfriend and my daughter say, "Geez, Dad, your running shorts are shorter than the shorts that the Hooters servers wear. How can you be outside like that?" I said, "They're comfortable shorts."
When's the recession gonna hit?
Oh, good question.
That's a very good question. I don't know, but I will say that the last recession we had was the first 6 months of 2022. And the recession is defined as 2 straight quarters of negative GDP growth. And since that time, we've had positive GDP growth. And
they say they hit every 10 years. So you think potentially we got another 10 years, roughly?
Well, sometime within the next 10 years, there's going to be a recession. Defined as, we'll say, as an economic slowdown. You could have certain industries, even in an expanding economy, that are in a recession or are in a bear market in terms of their stock prices. A bear market defined as stocks being down 20% or more for a period of time. So we're having bear markets in banks, bear markets in the energy patch right now, definite bear market in natural gas, which is dirt cheap right now. But I don't, as much as a lot of strategists and economists say, well, we're going to have a recession. I don't think so. At least not this year.
That's good news. Good news for the family.
Indeed.
Yeah. No, I mean, people are still spending money. They're spending it on different places.
Yeah, I suppose that's probably true. They do spend it at different places. Now, we've only got a few minutes left, so I want to bring this up again. The fact that the news was pretty wild the last couple of days and making the statement. And I called Josh and talked to him about this and asked him, about it. They are literally saying, all of the experts are saying, in order to get by and really live the life you want to live, you're going to have to invest your money. Do you all agree with that?
I do.
Depends how much money you make, though. What if you're making $1 million a year?
Well, yeah, that's the
thing.
thing.
To invest it.
Yeah.
Yes, you still have to invest money. Just take a look, and I'm very, very serious about that. Take a look at all of the professional athletes who, for brief periods of time, make a lot of money, and then take a look at the number of professional athletes, or since you're in Los Angeles, also high-paid actors or actresses that are paid a lot of money for a short period of time, and they can't can only maintain that lifestyle for that short period of time while they're making the money. And unless they invest their money in stocks, bonds, real estate, or other, another form that's going to generate them income, they're going to have to change their lifestyle.
Yeah, fair enough.
And change it dramatically. You are doing the best thing. No matter what you're making, you're putting money away into the S&P index fund, or
yeah, I got a house too. I got some real estate going on. Looking to invest in a sweatshop for Apple.
I think that'd be wonderful. Thank you very much. I would like that. I've got Tim Cook's phone number, and you could talk to him about developing here in the United States a manufacturing plant for him.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's time for me to do my biggest job now. Josh, since they are not just recommending, they're demanding that you invest with an advisor, how do people get a hold of Josh Arnold?
They can give me a call, 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. You always get straight talk, not sugar-coated advice. As well, if you forget the phone number, go to see Ari at the House of Comedy. He's going to be wearing my shirt, which will have the phone number embezzled on it.
Now, Ari, we going on to, so where can people go see you do your wonderful act? Where can they see it?
I'm going to be all over the country, but this weekend at the House of Comedy in Minnesota, and you could just check out my website, arimanis.com, for all my upcoming dates and alternative financial advice.
I got to be honest with you, I'm very serious about this because I didn't know, Ari, you were going to be on. And so before the show started, before I met you and talked to you on this show, I thought, an investment guy with a stand-up comedian, how's that going to work? But you were brilliant. You two together.
Two Jews. We connected.
Two Jews connected, and there's no question about it. I got to tell you something. I'm glad you kind of brought that up in a way because I told Josh this already. Catherine and I walked over to where Andy is staying, dropped him off. He went up with his 2-year-old and his wife to have a nice evening. We turned around and we're going to walk back and ran into a Palestinian parade.
Oh, wow.
Right down Florida. The middle of the street in Florida, which
They're
was
everywhere.
Florida doesn't do that kind of thing. So I don't know where these guys were from, but I thought it is so weird to look. I grew up in a black, Jewish, and Catholic neighborhood. For me, that was my life and all the rest of it. So I've known a lot of Jews, a lot of Catholics, a lot of black people in my life. Tevin's the only black person I don't like. I'd like to point that out.
I got to even the field out.
This turned out to be a lovely show. I really learned a lot. It was terrific. Go see Ari at the House Comedy. It is tonight, tomorrow night, and Sunday. Correct?
That's correct. Thank you. Thanks for the plug. Sure. Thanks for having me. You guys are a bunch of great guys, and I hope to see this show grow, and then next time I'll do it, it'll sell out all my shows.
I guarantee it'll happen, pal. Get out there and see Ari. Give Josh a call and invest money with him. Otherwise, you're going to go under. That's what I was told by the national news, right?
That's what you were told by the national news. Invest your money. Find an investment advisor to help you.
And you can find him, Josh Arnold, at what number?
952-925-5608.
Does that go right to you? If someone calls that, are you picking it up? Are you going to say, I got to go right now?
Yeah, if you were to call, either my assistant will pick up the phone or me.
Okay.
One or the other.
Oh, God. Wonderful. A little humor on the way out, and it's, my favorite joke of all time, actually, is a lot of people are deeply offended because they go through this whole list of two Italians walk into a bar and rob it. Okay. 2 Jews walk into a bar and buy it. And 2 Irishmen walk out of a bar. Now, what do you think of that? That's a 3-beat, isn't it?
I think so. That's a trifecta. We like to call
That's
it.
trifecta right there. I learned that joke when I was about 8 years old, I think. It was something like that. Because, like I said, of where I grew up, it was a very, very popular joke. That's all I have to say. All right, gentlemen, have a magnificent day. We will talk to everybody on Monday.
You too,
Look
bud.
forward to it.